Yo, what is good, everybody? It's KJ, and I'm back with my homie Eli.
Yeah.
And we are here for week 3 of PPL Season 2 Heat of the Week. So I hope y'all are ready. We got some good ones. We got some real good ones this week. Some stuff that I don't, like, I've actually never seen some of these sets before. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, some of these were like, where did people come up with this? Like,
We will say right now, off rip, before I show the freaking, the standings table where we're at right now, week 3 has been the hardest week by far for us. We're going through all the games. We're just like, man, this could make it. This could make it. Like, because weeks 1 and 2, like, this is harder than weeks 1 and 2 combined, in my opinion, personally.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Woo.
I don't know what it is, but I'm just gonna say it. It seems like the entire, and this might be a little bit of foreshadowing, but it seems like the entire league just got the Custat Berry bug. Like, we've seen so many Custat Berries this damn week. Like, everybody's like, yo, I got this slow ass Mon, let's slap a Custat Berry on it.
Yeah, I think Jay Ricky said it best. Like, I think it shout out to Addison for putting everybody on the Custat trade, man. Like,
true.
I think that's where the source is coming from. But before we get into that, I just want to show you guys really quickly. It's going to be reversed on my end, but this is the counter that we have going into week 3. So we got Daria and Onesie holding down the Eli tier, honorable mentions tier, potato, tomato, whatever. Bronze medal, we got Mounte and Daria holding down the bronze pack. The silver pack, we got Q the Costa Rican and Dom Fanatic. And then in the gold medal spot is Daria and Lars for weeks 1 and 2 respectively. Of course, as I famously conned it, the Eli tier, I have to mention, I take the honor in doing the honorable mention of this week. This is probably, I would easily top 3, if not top 2 most entertaining coaches in the league. Like, if I need a good laugh in my day, I'm pulling up Ellie's side of whatever league she's in, and I know, like, my appendix is gonna go through it. My appendix is just gonna go through it, because her commentary is just hysterical.
It's gold. It's absolute gold. Like, one of the best creators out there for sure.
And so when you see a Quillfish set like hers, and she leads off with it, you know you're in for a good time, right? You know you're in for a good time. The full set is SD Spikes, Lash Out Reversal with the foreshadowed a Custat Berry, right? We had so many Custat Berries this week, but this one really took the cake because what was it? Zamazenta. Yeah, Zama freaking put Quillfish Hisui in Custat range, which, by the way, it still took the hit pretty comfortably without an Eviolite. Quillfish Hisui is an Eviolite holder. Like, it can hold a Eviolite if it wants to. But nah, Ellie pulled up with the Custat Berry, SD'd on the incoming Zama hit, and, literally her commentary, I couldn't have put it better myself. She didn't click the button week 1. She didn't click the button week 2. She finally clicks the button week 3, switches out. Just switches out into the other Quillfish Chodo. Oh,
and it just ate the, I wanted it to kill. I was rooting for that, and I was rooting for trap hinge kills. Like, those were the 2 things I was rooting for in that video, in that battle. And like I said, it was one of those things where the Quillfish ran in and, like, came in, and then the reversal did, like, nothing. I felt it hurt. It hurt. I wanted the heat to work. The heat to work.
It was planned out so beautifully, but of course,
it really was.
Addison didn't want to switch, and even like 2 turns before, Deoxys put up rocks, and Ellie knew from early on that, like, oh well, Addison seems to not want to have fun. That was the line that got me.
The commentary.
Oh,
the commentary sent me. I'm not even gonna lie. The commentary there, it's just so.
It was just icing on the
funny.
cake. It was just icing on the cake for a fantastic week 3. It
totally
really,
agree.
really was. But today, Ellie's gonna be on the honorable mention / Eli tier for today. But it was really, really close to getting to the podium today. So close, so close. Whew.
So it's actually really funny. I just noticed the trend with most of the Pokemon that are winning winning a medal here, and the honorable mention in Heat of the Week. But we'll get into that after. So the first game that we want to highlight, or the first Mon from a game we want to highlight, is actually going to be from Seabad versus Onesie Bennett. And this is going to be, so it's going to be the bronze medal. It's going to be number 3. This is actually the Toxicroak that Seabad brought. So Toxicroak's an interesting Mon, especially in a rain matchup, because it gets dry skin, right? So it's really good to come in, and usually you see it played a little bit more offensively, right? Like you see it as a Mon that comes in, soaks up a hit, and then can be offensive and kind of deal some damage in rain, right? Now, Seabad brought a very defensive set. It was really interesting. So it was Toxic, Super Fang as its only, Super Fang was its only move to be able to hit things. And then it had Taunt and Baton Pass, right? So it was just absolutely wild. And honestly, it saved a couple of differential for him, in my opinion, because he was able to really shut down the Arcaludon that Onesie had, because Onesie had this Arcaludon that was gonna be click and body press and was a Resto Chesto set and had Iron Defense. It was gonna do more damage than it did, but like Toxicroak was able to help with the combination of Toxicroak and some of the other stuff he had, was able to kind of chip that down and whittle that away. And I think like just that alone was just great, honestly. I think having Toxicroak to be able to switch into the possible demon set that ended up getting misgenned with the Politoed. That
Demon
like
set
being able to
took the
stop
words
like
right out of
Whirlpool
my
and stuff like
mouth.
that.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Oh, I couldn't have put it better myself, KJ. But in all seriousness, though, like going back to the the Toxicroak Archaludon sequence, like that really saved Seabad from differential, if not the whole game. To be quite honest, that exact set, those exact 4 moves, was able to chip down Arch, because Arch also had Iron, if I'm not mistaken, it also had Iron Defense on top of it. So like,
it was Heavy Slam. Like, it was Resto Chesto, and it had Iron Defense, Body Press, and Heavy Slam. So like,
yeah,
being able to taunt, stopping the rest and the Iron Defense, and then also being able to chip it down with Super Fang was really, really crucial. So.
And I think the cherry on top for the set, personally, was Baton Pass for momentum. I genuinely didn't know Toxicroak got that. Genuinely didn't know that. That was very, very cool.
It also, if I remember correctly, it also had Helmet. So that was another thing that was like really clutch for it, like being able to just chip things down. So yeah, I think in general, it was just a pretty solid set. And I think really it probably came for the Urshifu Rapid that that Onesie has. But like, I think that's just a good set. Like, I think it's just a really good set.
Yeah, it just made sense for whatever Onesie was bringing. Like like you said in the very beginning, like Onesie had Rain, Toxicroak is a dry skid Mon, makes sense. Just throw it in the builder, right? And that's how most people would start off, and then it just turned into this helmet stall breaker, literally like 0 stab moves. It
only had Super Fang, and honestly, like that was something. I think like while Toxic was really good for it, and like Baton Pass was good for momentum, I do think that like if he could have fit like a Drain Punch or something like that on the set, it might have had even more longevity, like just to be able to heal up a little more. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think it was still really solid and did help kind of still keep him in the game. And it's actually really funny. Anybody that hasn't already, definitely go watch both of their sides. But especially with Seabad's side, where he was saying like, I've never in my life had to prep for 19 Mons. because Onesie's got
That is a sentence.
Ogerpon,
That
or
is certainly
all
a
Ogerpon
sentence.
forms, all Oricorio forms, and 2 different Basket Legions. It's wild. So the fact that, like, I guess, planning for 19 Mons makes
And
you
narrowing it down
really
to
start
6.
bringing some crazy sets, I guess.
The kitchen will start to get warmer.
Hey,
Oh,
when
man.
it's 11 versus 19, you gotta cook, right?
I guess so. I guess that's what we learned from this week, I guess.
True.
Moving on to the silver medal. I know, it's crazy, right? Like, this received bronze. That Stallbreaker Toxicroak received bronze. I can only imagine what's gonna happen in silver and gold, right? Silver is going to be taken over by so I personally, like, I'm not a very big believer in like holding berries and things like that, because they're one-time uses and one-time uses only. But there is a move out there where you can get it back, and it's called recycle, and that's what Vepsis brought up to handle a Spectrier with Wisp, right? So you have Lum to recover off, and then you can get a clean knockoff. You know what I mean? Like, you get a clean knockoff because you eat your berry while being burnt, and then recycle allows it to get your berry back, and then just repeat the process over and over again. And what put it over the top, what made it a silver medal instead of a bronze medal, was that it had to deal with something a little spicy on the Spectrier side.
True.
And that's pain split. So on top of, wisping, on top of, dealing with Will-O-Wisp, the fourth move, so it was knock, poison jab, recycle, and then rest. And rest actually ended up working out as the Spectrier had pain split to recover health back. It's a brand new move that Spectrier got this gen alongside Draining Kid.
Pretty much. And I think Vepsis mentioned it in the video, like, damn near everything got pain split. Like,
you have Rotom forms getting it back. You have Hatterene getting it this gen.
There's so many things that just randomly got pain split. So, I mean,
it's on the level of vacuum wave distribution, right? Like, the vacuum wave distribution this gen is super unreal, and pain split is in that same category. Really.
Oh yeah.
I think that's ultimately the reason why the Muck Alola with recycle is in the silver medal, because it had to deal with pain split Spectrier, and it won that 1v1.
Not to mention it was also pretty dope because it was poison touch, right? So you end up in a situation where you can get the poison touch, the poison on it, and then you're just in a cycle of, like, oh, you recycle, and then eventually it starts to force some mind games, because it's like, oh, if you recycle and they don't click Will-O-Wisp, then you get to keep it, and then you can click rest later on, all different kinds of things, right? So it was a really cool set, really well thought out. That
1v1 interaction with the Muck Alola versus Spectrier was super intense. The mind games during like that 3/4 into the video on both sides was just super intense. Like, Vepsis and Mountay were absolutely no joke to mess around with back in Gen 8, and they were still bringing that same energy over in Generation 9 over in Paldea. So we have one entry from Vepsis on the podium. Shout out to all the little Danos out there watching from afar. For real. You guys made the podium finally, so congrats.
There you go. All right, so we got number 1. Now, this is actually a really interesting one, right? Because watching this video, you can look at, like, if you watch the entirety of the video, you'll see, or the entirety of the battle, you'll see that, like, there's a Mon that does really pop off, right? But that Mon pops off because of the fact that this other Mon comes out of nowhere and just like enables it to pop off. This Mon, now mind you, this Mon also got 2 kills. Now, I'm just gonna say, so number 1 is gonna go to Lars again. Lars bringing heat for the 2nd week in a row. My man brought a fluffy Rocky Helmet Terra Fairy Houndstone. Now, anybody that knows about Houndstone, you know it's usually like Last Respects is typically banned in draft, so like we don't have to worry about that. But even still, it's on a sand team, it's a Sandmon. That's what you're thinking. You're not really thinking about Fluffy. But this man brought Fluffy, Rocky Helmet, fully defensive with Nightshade, Body Press, so like both of those make sense. Will-O-Wisp and Rest, right? And honestly,
didn't he lead
the
off with
idea
it too?
was, yeah, it was a lead. It was the dedicated lead because he was trying to catch an Urshifu single lead, which he did. And so like Terra Fairy being able to click Will-O-Wisp into whatever. So like the Shifu pivots out, he burns the Corviknight, which is the one thing that basically is like truly gonna stop his endgame setup, which is Hawlucha. So like it enabled his team so well. It ended up getting 2 kills also. Like it ended up killing the Corviknight, and it ended up killing something else as well. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it ended up getting 2 kills, and it's like, why is a defensive Houndstone getting kills? I understand it's a Terra Captain, but like that was the definition of bringing a Terra Captain defensively and using it to perfection. Like, absolutely.
Oh yeah, no,
incredible.
absolutely. At least in my experiences, I don't know if KJ can, agree with me or not, but in my experiences using Terra this generation, like I've seen more success offensively, being able to Terra into like one of my stabs or just one random coverage type and Terra blasting something. But to see it defensively is very, very hard to pull off. But when you do pull it off, like Lars has done, it really puts in the mileage. And like you said in the very beginning, it enabled the other members of the team, specifically the Hawlucha, to win, right? So I'm gonna drop a American football analysis really quick. Like, okay, Hawlucha like ran in for the touchdown, but without the pulling guard that is, Houndstone picking up that key block on 2 defenders, because it's 2 kills, then Hawlucha would have never scored. That's the way I see it.
100%. So. That was perfect. Like that's really what it comes down to. Because like again, with Houndstone being able to burn the Corviknight on the switch in and still also be able to consistently be a check to the Urshifu was just so good. And I mean, yeah, the ability
it really
to like
set off a light bulb. It really set off a light bulb. Like, oh, like okay, I've burnt the Corviknight. It's going to be useless, and like it's just only going to be a matter of time for Hawlucha to come in and win, right? Because again, like you said as well, at the start of the segment, if once Corviknight is down to a certain amount of health, then Hawlucha can clean up. So again, like Houndstone was the enabler for Hawlucha to win for Lars. It really was.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely was. And I think it ended up killing, if I remember correctly, it ended up killing the Gardevoir too, which those were basically the 2 Mons. Like, Lars had done some scouting to see if there was like a scarf or anything, because it was tracing Unburden and stuff like that. He was trying to see if there was a scarf on the Gardevoir earlier in the game before Unburden had popped. And like, honestly, again, I think it was very well played, and it was just textbook on how to play a defensive Terra Captain. And I think it was fantastic.
Masterclass.
It was not only great play, but also a heat set. Like, I mean, yeah, you see a defensive Houndstone, and like you can expect maybe body press or something like that, but I don't know. The combination of all the things, like helmet with Fluffy, with the body press, with the Nightshade to be able to chip things down, with Will-O-Wisp to be able to burn stuff, and then to have the ability to click rest if you wanted to. Like, I just think that was incredible.
Oh yeah, he didn't even bother to click rest that whole time. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think he clicked rest once.
It was
It
just,
was
yo,
still
it was
that
so
good.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
still
really,
that
really
good.
good.
But that wraps it up, pretty much wraps it up here. So here's the updated medal count for those taking notes over wherever. So there we go. There we go. I was like, where's my Eli tier? How do you not show the leaderboard without your own tier, for Christ's sakes, man?
Oh my
but
goodness.
there's Ellie down there holding it down. Yeah, Seabad, Crimson Seabad, my dad, your dad, everybody's draft league dad, getting a bronze medal there. Vemsis holding it down for the little Danos in the silver, and then Lars, as we mentioned at the start of the segment, that's his second back-to-back
Man went
gold
back to back.
Yeah, he really did. Three-peat, KJ. Before we head out of here, you think he's gonna get a three-peat?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a three-peat is tough. A three-peat is definitely tough. That's you're really, if you got a three-peat, you're really cooking. Like
yes, that's facts. That's facts. If
really
you get a
cooking if you got a
three-peat,
three-peat.
Yeah.
Like,
if you get a
just getting on
three-peat,
the-
like you're winning heat of the season. It's just a matter of what's said at that point.
True. That facts. And this is the impressive thing is, so like, real talk, making the podium 3 times in a row is even difficult. Like, Daria did it twice, right?
Yep.
Now Lars has done it twice. So like, we'll see what happens, but like, even making the podium 3 times in a row is tough. So we'll see if
We'll see if Lars can pull it off. We'll see if Lars can pull it off. I mean, yeah. If he gets to the podium, like even if he gets a silver or a bronze next week, that's still super impressive. But
True.
a three-peat gold would be absolutely wild. So if Lars is watching this, like, you know, surprise us, please surprise us. We will be waiting patiently. We will be waiting patiently, man. Anything else I missed? You missed?
No, I think that's it. I think we're good to go. So I think without further ado, we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch y'all for next week. Take it easy, everybody. Peace.
What battery is my phone? 4%. Wow. Wowie. Wow. I showed the leaderboard at 5% on my phone. Good God.